And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. We're waiting for the serial killing effect to wear off, and for... well, actually, at this point we know that we can, in theory, make booze. It might become a little bit of a pottery problem, where we need to build more pottery, but in theory we can make booze. We'll have to get some orchards going to make fruit. In fact, for a construction thing, that's probably the next thing I should work on, is get the orchards going. Let's actually turn the speed down a little bit. Farms, fruit orchard. That's what we're going to use this area in here for. Okay. Okay, we can make that work. I can trim a little bit off here so we can put a road up there. So we'll make that orchard and we'll see how much fruit that in theory makes. Initially, I think they're chopping all the trees down, because we're basically going to plant new trees. Red waters! The waters near capital suddenly turn red and taste of rust. Events like this are alluded to in the Sumeron, and thus momentary increase in devotion massively. The possible end of 6 is a pretty good time to court the gods, after all. Species with different colored blood are distinctly unimpressed by the rust water, though. So, fisheries, we get a boost in fisheries and a boost in piety. Which in theory actually technically makes the workers a little less efficient because they'll spend more time going to the shrines and the temples, but... yeah, in theory we've got a tavern. I suppose we could check the range on the tavern, figure out how many we need to build. So yeah, we're gonna have to build more taverns. Not one tavern is not enough. Although we do have some drink at it, so in theory we are serve a drink. So we're gonna need another one. Well, we're gonna need more than one. The trail goes cold. Has been long now without new murders of Jake the Invincible. Has he stopped, taken a break, moved from the city? Who knows? Will he return? Let's hope not. Undoubtedly, these events will never be forgotten, but your subjects are slowly getting over the tragedy. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze a tavern in there. Probably want a tavern up here. Squeeze one in. I guess it's gonna have to go there. We'll squeeze it in there. We'll let those ones get done, and then we'll revisit the subject. Every neighborhood's gonna need their access to their own tavern. Whether that's big enough or not is gonna come down to probably how many drinks we're serving, really. Yeah, we're seeing the city population grow pretty quickly. Now that the serial killing's gone. I don't think our troops have come back yet. They should still be returning. 6 days. So in 6 days we'll have another 140 people in the city. So if anything, I probably need more housing. The housing wheel spins. Yeah, let's work on grabbing... Actually, let's get the fruit orchard done first, and then we'll work on grabbing some more housing. Worst case scenario, the returning soldiers can build their own houses. Okay, so that's another complete tavern, although complete tavern does not necessarily equate immediately to there being adequate drink to serve. Although we can check here based on, or to see the coverage. So this one's probably going to need one. It's actually a pretty good coverage, so those are covering enough. So I can probably get away with one for this neighborhood, one for this neighborhood. Squeeze one on both ends of here, and we might not need one in the middle. Looking like 3 or 4 more. Well, looking at 4 more, maybe 5 more. And that also depends upon how much throughput they have. I'm going to hold off on building them, though, because, again, we have 140 people coming in, and not 140 open houses. So we need to build a housing district or 2. Housing lump or 2. Almost finished deforesting there. Yeah, we're basically just waiting on the deforesting, aren't we? And 99% complete. There we go, 100% cleared. Temperatures are rising to an extreme level today. Make sure your subjects have ways to cool down. Okay. Yeah, that's mostly complete. So let's go ahead and move on, getting some housing going. Copy area. Need to at least copy that portion. Probably wants to be in, like, here, right? Do something like that. Still want to do an area copy. So I'm going to copy this strip on the side there to use. Down the side there. Strip there. I can just shove road in the remaining space there, and that'll work. Oh, I just realized we set ourselves up right next to the fight pit. You know, one workaround to that is I can demolish the fight pit and, yeah, delete the fight pit. We can move the fight pit. Fight pit is not actually a critical service. Because our people don't really need the fight pit. Don't need it at all. We'll still replace the fight pit. Just leave some space around it, so things can get into things. Get into the nearby areas, like so. And we'll let that slowly build up. In theory, that should provide adequate housing. Again, we still have an army unit of 100, and I think it's 140 coming back. It might be 200. Either way, we need this housing for it. Worst case scenario, these guys come back, and then they have to build their houses, effectively. Okay, you're working, although none of the trees have grown enough to actually really provide much food. Much apple. Not much fruit coming off. Although, it is actually, in theory, offsetting the one brewery. So, we'll see how that grows. We probably want a few more of those, just because we're going to want more fruit, because we're going to want more breweries, because we want more drink. And we can see that what little drink we are serving is, in fact, providing some service. Providing some fulfillment. At least at the level that we're serving them drinks, it's not a severe detriment on health. Yeah, and grow we still do. I think that was the army just returning. Yeah, the army is filtering into the city here. Which is why the odd jobber is being fixed, but the housing is becoming worse. Okay, we'll say that this time keep it so that the population doesn't decline too much. In fact, we'll say keep it so that it stays at 570 and 50. 5,750 people. And we'll have to work on improving the housing so they're housed. Which means that we actually need them to finish this construction. But we'll just be patient. We gotta wait for them to do the building. Then we can upgrade those houses, and I think we'll fit in all those upgraded houses. Worst case scenario, we'll have to build more housing if that's not the case. Not to fully grown trees. Only when trees are fully grown will they start producing. Apparently they produce food even before they're fully grown. It's just a really big malice. But yeah, from a food standpoint, this is pretty bad. We're using 10 workers to make 18 and a half units of food. So, like, our fisheries are significantly better than that. Our, I think even our vegetable farms are better than that from a food perspective. But that should get better. Much like the pastures, that should get better. Slowly and steadily, we get more people, get more capacity to shove people into the space. So in theory, we've now got surplus housing. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to build even more housing and let even more people in. Well, that's like a perpetual problem, right? We always want to do more. More is always more people. Okay, so that's upgraded. We got housing for another 80. You know, I'll accept exactly that 80 in. So 5, 8, B0. Add that in. Suppose I should get some housing over there. Squeeze a little more in by going in that orientation. Can we? Yeah, just about. Okay, that's just the catchment area. Try again. Where we don't cause any problems by putting over the top of an existing building. Oops, I need to activate it because whatever did put that in planning mode instead of copy. To build that housing district up and have more people come in there. And then I think we're on to making more booze, which then we'll turn around and go into making more fruit. Right now our booze consumption is our booze production, and people would like more. Oh, I suppose every time we let people in, they're not necessarily the right religion, and the temple is really starting to get strange. I think the temple handles like 3, 4, maybe 5,000 people, so the temple's hitting saturation. So at some point we're gonna have to think about getting a second temple. Our grand temple is big and grand, and apparently not big enough or grand enough to meet the needs of a city this size. Put the brewery over here. That's the brewery. What's the soil over here look like? Yeah, so this is probably fine to put on. Yeah, we know we want at least another brewery. Why am I in planning mode? You know, it being planning mode's fine. This means I have to come and activate it, which is probably better than just having it in copy and paste and auto start building mode. Okay. So I've got space for another 90, so let's tell them they can let that 90 in. So 5, 9, 20. I'm gonna need to put a tavern. I think we want the tavern like this center, this area, sort of thing. I want 2 taverns. Let's get those being built. And then obviously that's a big area, so that's a no-go. Oh, I could squeeze it in here, but that's probably closer. Too close to where we want other stuff to be. Actually, let's put it there. Yeah, it looks good. And then we put one, say, in here. Yeah, let's put one there. And then we'll activate the construction on both of those. And the next two we should do is across the river, but I think we need a third brewer before we can do that. And still have anywhere near enough booze. Honestly, I don't think we have enough booze coming in as is, even with two of them. Right, so for the three we have. It's done. We'll work on another field area for apple production. Yeah, the city has grown pretty big, closing in on 6,000 people. I suppose we could technically move away from like the master cricketers to do something like that, but I think we'll be fine. Okay, so that tavern's complete. I suspect the one down here is probably not quite. Wait for this one to be done, and then we'll expand the fruit orchard. We got people eating the meat. Yeah, we're running too low on food. I'm gonna have to drop the food. Access a tier. Try to save some food. Hopefully make it up for them in booze, but that will take some time. Okay. Let's turn the speed down. Let's build another orchard in this area. Trees. Like so. Turn that area into... We want to go another level down. I might go another one down. Yeah, just make the whole bit. Been an orchard. Somehow I swapped the default process to planning instead of... Oh, it's a toggle there. Okay, that makes sense. I'm like... How did I toggle it on as a permanent so I can toggle it off? So yeah, right now, we consume the drink as quickly as we make it. So we'd like to make more so we can have more to serve. Yeah, I think we're going to need even more than that. So let's get... Well, that one's a building. Let's think about how many I can shove in that space. 3... It's basically going to be one long row of trees. Fruit trees. Along the canal here. Like so. Technically a little bad patch of sandy in there, but I think we might do an orchard that side of the canal as well. Okay. Our goal right now is to make enough fruit from fruit orchards to provide enough provide enough to the breweries that are gonna make it into feta, enough to give our guys drink level 1. And then we're gonna double over onto food. More fish, more eggs. In fact, I might take a stay over and do some dean pastures, because it'll take a little while to kick in anyway. Where's the good soil over here? This is... Okay, so this is basically all good soil. Except for the bit where we don't want to be on top of, because it is our forage location. Okay. So I build another one view. So they go up to there, and... there. Open a road across there. That wouldn't be a terrible place for a road to be. So yeah, let's just say that's going to be the field. And then let's get a second one, assuming we've got a road in there. We basically just want to fill this area up. Make one really big, reasonably high quality field. Like so. And we have some rich field over there, so we might put some more over there, but I think for the moment that's enough of an increase. We do need to give some time for the animals to get to age. I think I'll put a little small warehouse over here. Logistics. Warehouse. Small one like so. So we need a door. Which side, let's say. And then we'll assign you to basically taking eggs, meat, livestock. We are getting fruit here, so fruit. Okay, mostly those. So in theory, if the living conditions are good enough, people will continue to move in. Sadly, we do not have enough to deal with the clouds and insects. So our people will move faster, our people will accelerate faster, our people will need to go clean more often, and be less safe while working. The last one is the problem. These haven't yet been fully cleared. They haven't been fully cleared. Or actually, no, they're actively receiving their fruit. Okay. But yeah, the adults here have to get of age, although animals are being delivered pretty quickly. Getting them old enough is a different problem. Okay, setting. We got 12 crates here. We know we want eggs, fruit, meat, livestock. We'll do one of the sort of basic local maintenance stuff, so one of stone, one of wood, one of furniture, one of fabric, let's say. And then we'll upgrade. That should hold quite a bit of decent amount of stuff in the area. It'll take a little while for that to kick in and generate decent food returns. I think I'm gonna have to reduce the food servings again, which is a little bit worrisome. We're in theory making food, making fish and eggs. Well, we're not making vegetables, but we import vegetables. Yep, that's not enough fruit farm. Not enough fruit farm. Okay, we need more fishery. And yeah, this will take up a bunch of fishermen, which currently don't have the people for. But we apparently gonna need to have to find the people. That's where we're at. Okay, so that'll support like 16 fishermen pretty effectively. So we're gonna need storage. And then enough auxiliaries to get it working. Like so. And yeah, apparently those new fruit farms are not enough to keep the breweries working. Or maybe they are? No, you're having downtime issues due to there not being enough fruit. Maybe it isn't helping that we just straight up have a food shortage. Yeah, I think the environment decline is the decline of the fish and egg storage. One of the two declined pretty hard. Innovation, we got 5. Of course, I don't think we got anything we would want to spend 5 on. Stuff we'd want to spend 6 on. Oh, I could spend on the orchard. Orchard's not worth it yet. Orchard's not worth it yet. Fish farm's not going to be worth it. Although we did just expand it, so it would be a bit closer. Maybe worth it on the basic tending. And then knowledge. I suppose if I just need more health. And the way we're getting more health, realistically, is feeding them more. Reducing hunger would help. I may regret this, but I'm going to spend 100 knowledge on food nutrition. Next one's 150. For basically the same effect that we got from 100, but let's see if that works. So that should make our guys eat 5% less food for the same effect. $50 days. Well, that's the next tree will be grown, not the next tree will be adult. So I'm not sure if that's when they chop the tree down and begin replacing the trees. Because in theory, once the thing's old enough, they'll be cycling trees. Yeah, so these should, over time, increase in their egg production. Again, we're waiting for... Well, you're waiting for animals. You're also waiting for them to become adult. You have your animals, but they're not adult yet. A fully adult one's producing... is that 20 per worker? No, it's like... 5, 6, something like 6 per worker. So yeah, 6 plus, so 28 times 6 should be a decent increase in food. Yeah, people aren't going to starve, but we're definitely out of food. And they're not going to starve because they'll start eating their rations. I have them told that they can't eat rations, I believe. Yeah, they can go eat it, but they can't pick it up from the restaurants or the food stalls. And the food stalls aren't out, we're just everything's in the food stalls at this point. That's where we're at. In theory, we have indications that the drink might be positive. Let's go ahead and get the extra taverns... Well, I'd say extra. The other tavern set up. Drink in the northeast and the northwest. Yep, it's not exactly an optimal placement here, but we'll shove it in here in the cap. Go through between those two asylums. We have to go through the tavern. Let's go out to the army. We're going to edit you and reduce your size even more. We're having issues trying to supply the clothes. So what's going on? Because we're having to import clothes to meet the requirements. Yeah, hopefully the food stockpiles are uptrending. We increased food, increased fish, increased egg. Theory we've increased fruit as well. No, overhead is getting pretty bad. That means at some point I need to improve the admin. No, we're no longer doing 100% retirement. Our retirement place is full. No. So it's just the age for where idealized retirement has changed. Okay. Take it up another bit, see if we can get it up to 100 again. Here we go. So that's just a demographic change. The old are old enough that they are disappearing. Okay, so in theory, the fruit production is now positive. Although it's probably been positive. I don't think this is yet. None of these trees have reached age. And fully grown trees is still 0, yeah. People would appreciate more fish, so there's an argument to get more fishing going. I think I'm going to hold off on doing more booze until the existing fruit orchards come of age, which should be happening hopefully soon. Oh, apparently we have days to harvest marked there, so this is maybe not the prediction. That might be days to proper harvest, not... I'm not sure. Okay, we need to wait until those get to grown. Oh, we got a fishery in the middle of construction. I'm already thinking about building the next fishery, and this one hasn't finished yet. Nope, more accidents. more accidents. But yeah, we'll get this done. I think we're just going to keep building more food production. Try to get food production back up so we can serve more food. In theory, our two primary food industries, the fisheries and the pastures, do produce enough food that we could probably feed everyone maximum food. If we have enough people working those industries. So we need to build those industry up. After that, it'll probably be admin if we can keep growing. Although we still have to figure out how to meet the expectations of our growing population, right? Which we're not currently doing right now. By like 4 or 5 points. Although serving more food would help. So that's what we're going to try to do, is food first. Okay, that's built. There we have some surplus workers. So let's go ahead and put the game speed low, and we're going to start. Put the game speed low, and we're going to start working on the next area. That's as far west as it can go. It's on our eastern border of it. Oh, I should go a little farther east, actually. Got a bit off like so. Does not get me far enough east. Yes, that does get me far enough east. Okay. Storage. Not the number keys. I need to make this a little bit bigger. Save that. Storage. Oops. Trying to hit R and I'm hitting 4, which is not what I'm going for. Not what I'm going for at all. Okay, so I do need that size, that works. Okay, get them building that. Oh, I have it set up to distribute meat as well via that. Okay. That's why the meat's so low. I'm questioning... I think we are getting some from fulfillment of food. It's not as much as we'd like. We have it set to 1.5, and I think we're actually successfully fulfilling 1.5 is what we're getting. Yeah, food preference is down because they're having to eat meat. Okay, if we get that done, hopefully get more fruit. We can check up on these ones we built earlier. Are you fully adult? None of them are adult, so that's still nowhere near outputting what it will. Same here, nowhere near outputting what it will. Although, I don't know why I checked there, because this one was built first, so it should get adulthood first. Yeah, we basically want to continue increasing food production, so we can try to convince people to move in because they're getting fed. Right now, population actually appears to be declining and not increasing. Well, if that's the case, hopefully we're getting some indoctrination. Going up, indoctrination's up to 12%. What's the state of... Okay, so it looks like we just may have had a generation. Yeah, it looks like we may have just had a generation. Well, oh yeah, definitely just had a generation. Okay, so we're not really expecting any more people to be become adults out of the children anytime soon. Yeah. In theory, we're making booze, and in theory, those booze are being distributed. We just don't make that much booze. And in fact, because we've got no fruit, we're really not making that much booze. So I think we can just go ahead and tell one of these ones to turn off, because it's really not working at the moment. It's literally not that much fruit from the process being produced. That's the physician. That's another physician. I'm thinking about the restaurant. There's a restaurant. What are the restaurants distributing? So the restaurants are actually set to distribute everything, which I should probably tell them not to. Don't do fruit. Don't do bread. We're not making mushrooms, but don't do mushrooms. We'll leave them distributing meat. Although in the long run, we might tell them to stop distributing the meat as well if we can get the rest of the foodstuffs working in adequate quantities. Okay, so all the lumber has been delivered to the fishery. Yeah, there's not much to do except for wait for time to pass and wait for some of our food stockpiles to expand. And hopefully if they are expanding, because right now we're getting, I think, the late fall, summer harvest, well, early fall, late summer, early fall harvest, let's say, coming in. Well, in theory, we're not getting a harvest here. It's saying 40 days out, which is not good. Although we do have some apples. So we're processing the apples. Make booze. Suppose I could turn you back on. Get all those apples processed into booze and served. And hope that encourages a little bit more migration. Well, we're positive on everything except for the vegetables. It's good to see. Are you adults yet? You are now adults, so that's the adult production numbers. You're still going up, so we should still expect more eggs in the future. Yeah, farming tools. Sure, we don't have we don't have tool industry, so it's all important. That'd be a bad way to things to start, but there's maybe an argument to stop hunting. That would free up those workers and free up that knowledge to spend someplace else. And then fisheries. Yeah, the fisheries aren't big enough yet to warrant trying to make them better with tech. The pastures are getting close. And then, yeah, from a feeding standpoint, okay, so we probably have enough for going up another level on you. Probably have enough for going up another level on you. Specifically you, that's the problem, so when we actually eat all the vegetables, they'll be swapping back to the fish and eggs again. What do I have set up for export? I could probably would benefit from doing more exports. So we could manage our stuff better. Something contaminated our water, it's still fit for consumption, but the Amevians choose to swim or wash themselves will start to lose scales and trigger a molting cycle. Need to eat more, and we'll try to visit the barbers more frequently to help in the molting process. There may be a way to solve this, but your Amevians will like it forbid them to swim. Yeah, we're going to forbid swimming. They're going to be unhappy for the meantime. They're not going to bathe. And they're not going to see any dip. Went about as well as could be expected. They will comply for now because they can see the sense in your decision, but they do not like it. Okay, export depots. We export shields. Yeah, it feels like that export is being respected. Exporting iron. If we're overproducing it and we're underproducing it. So this is actually effectively a defunct export at the moment. Spears and being respected. Leather armor that doesn't seem to be being respected. So let's find our depots and set an appropriate pull limit. For each of those depots, so this gets exported more effectively. It's just those 2 depots, right? Yeah, just those 2 depots. Livestock is working. One livestock exporter is working correctly. Either we're not making enough livestock because the level's too low, or it is effectively, well, it's obviously not effectively doing export because something's wrong and our levels are far too low. But that's fine. Not gonna be too worried about it. Put that fairly low because I don't think you need that high. If we have some workers there. Rations are set to export when we're really, really high, so that's fine. You're set to export nothing. Can I get you exporting wood? Reasonably high priority limit. Do you have like a really big wood storage? That's a pretty big wood storage. And set you reasonably high. That way, hopefully it doesn't export everything, but obviously we're more willing to export some wood. We are net producing wood. That's the case with the clay. We're exporting clay. It seems to be respecting it because we are below the limit. So either we don't actually make enough clay, or that is a reasonable level set it to. Pot seems to be working fine with the exception. Have you set to 40%? You set to 40%. Okay, so one of those deposits, or one of the warehouses are 40, and the other one isn't. Oh, I now have 2 set to export wood. You know, that's probably fine for the moment. Again, we'll set you. Take from you. And then set the full limit to like 70 from that specific location. Which is a little bit lower than the 75% we have it set to, but it's fine. Gems are fine, those are working. Paper, we're importing paper. Oh, this isn't helping. Set like 50% and like 50%. Meat. You're set to specific limits. Okay, so you're set right. We don't have that much meat, but that's fine. You're set to export the excess of that. We're not at that limit. You're set to export spears, but you're set up reasonable. I will... say from that depot, if that depot is like more than 50% full, then you can pull from that depot. Okay, so we are exporting wood. Or, well, we're definitely now exporting, because we've got 2 exporters set to export it. And we're exporting pots. I think we're exporting pots. Yeah, we've got it set up to export pots. I think one of the wood exporters is actually the old furniture exporter, which we have turned off because I think we're making enough furniture. Nope, we're not making enough finishers. That would be something if we wanted to get more. Imports would be, instead of other stuff, is make more of that. Yeah, I got an odd jobber problem. Don't have enough odd jobbers. Once this wears off, and we get the happiness back, I might try increasing the food consumption, see if we can spark a little bit more growth. So that we can get more people to clear the odd jobber shortages. Loyalty is decreasing. Yeah. It's because we're way off of the target. 4.4% off of the target, yeah. Well, the part of that's coming from the event, right? So we're losing 20% from the event. Some comment from Loyalty had days off. How do I do days off? Not that that would be a good idea. Necessarily a good idea, but if we give some days off, that wouldn't necessarily be too bad. Master Party. Anyway, so we can see where everyone is and what the priorities are. Although we've only got one race, so it doesn't really matter. The menus. The law is looking fine. The known diseases, yeah. And our health could be better, but to make the health better, I really just need to distribute more food. Or start applying tech bonuses. Everyone's housed, and we have excess housing. Yeah, food is trending up over time, so I think the answer is going to have to be that I just enable more food consumption. And that fishery is done. There isn't enough workers to work that fishery, but this fishery is done. So we're going to wait for this to clear out. Although it looks like that should probably be in the next part. We are waiting for these orchards to really get into proper size, and hopefully they're providing enough fruit to operate the breweries year-round so that we have more reliable drink. That might be something that will help. But yeah, for the moment, this is where we're going to put the part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break here to get up, stretch the legs, sip some tea, and then we'll be back to record one more part tonight. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck, a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.